Are you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.
What a voice! What a voice! Oh my god! And how about the rest? This is a fantastic song. The name is Sand, and this is by Steve Mignano and his side project Drab. And we have Steve here with us to talk with us today. Hey Steve, how's it going?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Wow. Thanks to you. This is fantastic. I'm so impressed with your voice. Everything about this song is fantastic. So please take the floor and introduce yourself and your music.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it. And again, I appreciate you having me on. My name is Steve Mignano. I'm a guitarist that's based out of New Orleans. And yeah, my bandmates for this project that we've been working on called Drab are Devin Kerrigan on bass. The drummer is Landon Sheramy. And I guess this Drab project was kind of born out of COVID and the downtime we spent during quarantine. And it seems like everybody I know during quarantine either learned to cook or made an album, you know, so, yeah, so same here with me. We made this album, and, you know, so the bulk of my recording and touring career as a musician, I was playing guitar in other people's bands, and touring with other people's bands, kind of as a hired gun and doing session work and that kind of thing. And then, after I moved to New Orleans and put together my own band, which was kind of more of like a blues rock trio, we put out an album in 2017 called Lucky 13. And our gig schedule was pretty heavy, you know, locally and regionally. And then when COVID hit, it just, you know, kind of like wiped all the gigs off the table.
Wow.
And we were in this place kind of like most people where, I mean, for a while there, it was pretty uncertain whether we would play live again at all. We didn't know. So during that downtime, we just started workshopping songs and, you know, kind of rehearsing in a storage unit in Mandeville, Louisiana. And that's kind of where this Drab project was born out of. And it was interesting because we didn't have any pressure on us in terms of having to get a return on the product or, you know, having a gig schedule. And so it just became this organic creative process where we were jamming as a band, throwing ideas back and forth. And we wrote the whole album in about a month, I think.
Wow.
And it just kind of came together on its own. And then after that, you know, we decided the material was strong enough that we wanted to record it. And initially, my idea for it was I wanted to have Steve Albini produce it. He's one of my favorite producers.
Yeah.
And yeah, the concept was kind of being like an early 90s rock album and sort of building a monument to the music that I grew up listening to.
Yeah.
Soundgarden, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Megadeth, Metallica, you know, bands like that, which, you know, were kind of a big part of why I started playing guitar to begin with.
For everybody.
But the logistics of like moving the band to Chicago and all this was, you know, probably, especially during COVID, is not feasible. So I started to think of local producers that could help. And the first name that came to mind was Jack Miele, he's a motherfucking genius. And I've worked with him on some other projects before in the past. So I gave him a call, explained what we were doing. He was totally into it, and we just jumped right into the studio. So that's how this project came to be.
This is incredible. So much, so much fantastic information here. I mean, wow, I don't know where to begin. Like, okay. So these projects, born of a most unfortunate probably event of our lives, out of a storage unit you were practicing. In about a month you wrote the material. This is all in Louisiana. Where was all yeah, we're based out of New Orleans, and we're a house band at a club here, and we play a wide range of music doing that, and we gig pretty heavily. Okay.
Up until, you know, the pandemic hit, and then the lockdowns and stuff like that. And for us, it was just having the rug pulled out from underneath us, because we're a live band, you know.
Right.
We gig constantly, and so during that downtime, you know, the choice was between trying to keep the band going or sort of stagnating. And so we just had to use whatever means we had, and our drummer happened to be renting a storage unit. You know, we had no places to play at, so we just started jamming in his storage unit just to kind of keep our sanity and to keep the band together, and to keep our hopes up for, you know, a better future, really.
Right.
Yeah, without the pressures of gigging heavily and, you know, having other expectations met for the band, we just started writing the music that we wanted to write.
Exactly.
And that's why we're very proud of this album, because it's really probably the best representation of us.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, this sounds incredibly solid, professional. I mean, you band in yourself, top level. I mean, absolutely top level. And I hear the influences that you mentioned, and we so much need projects and bands like yourself. This is a great tribute, and really pure and really true to rock and to those bands and to those influences. This is fantastic.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad that you get it.
Oh,
because at the end of the day, I need this music, even as a listener, you know, like, and so in a way, you know, stepping back from it, I hope that I made an album that I will enjoy listening to. Exactly. You know, years from now too, and I hope other people. I hope it connects. You know, it's a weird time to be a musician, especially because you know, everything's digital now, and social media kind of drives the popularity of music, and it's a challenge to kind of cut through all of that noise and overstimulation with music that's thought provoking and you know, kind of demands a little more from the listener, like the type of music that I grew up listening to.
Correct.
But I hope we can thread that needle and get this album into some people's earbuds that will really enjoy it.
Absolutely. We are and we will, and all we need is passion and will and craft and bands and people like yourself continue to create art and true music and quality, and we will. And you know, the way I see it, you know, all trends, they go away, and what stands is really what's true and what's quality. And you know, everything that goes up goes down, and everything goes down goes up, and at the end what stands is the truth. And your music is truth and is quality, and you'll withstand. And there'll come the time that you'll be appreciated again. If it, not that it's not right now, it is right now, but it'll be in its right place. That's the way that I want to see it.
You know, I feel like you're so right, and also it's programs like this one and people like yourself that are promoting real music and doing such a good job of it, and having so many interesting artists on. I enjoy listening to your podcast.
Appreciate it.
So I, for one, am a fan, and I think you're people like you, podcasters now, are the real counterculture, and you guys are the real media, and people know that, and it's much appreciated.
Man, thank you so much for your words. Thank you very much for your words. All right,
yeah.
So tell me more about this fantastic producer, Jack Miele. Is that the name?
Yeah, Jack Miele is, like I said, I think he's a genius. And he's somebody I like to work with because I can communicate with him, on an abstract level, on a number of levels, and we communicate very well, and he can get me the results I'm looking for. And I think this album sounds exactly how I wanted it to sound when I started to conceive of it. And he's worked with, his resume is ridiculous. He's worked with all kinds of like top-notch artists, up and down the chain, from like Mute Math to Zach Brown, and he's also a great guitarist in his own right, and has a lot of his own business projects going on. So he's well known in the New Orleans scene, and I was really glad that he got so interested in the project and worked so hard on it.
Oh man, the results are.
So I mean, there's so many talented people that deserve credit on this album that contributed to it.
It's always a team effort, right? I mean, one can do incredible things, but it's really the synergies and the different opinions. And I heard a very, very good metaphor. Sanding stones, it needs the pressure from the others, and the gravel and the spinning and all that, and at the end you'll get, after all those sometimes discussions, sometimes sometimes some shouts or whatever it is, but at the end you'll get a beautiful result, and it's after that process.
Exactly. It's usually the initial seed of a vision for a project, but there's a huge process that goes into kind of bringing that to its full potential.
Yes.
And a big part of it is people that will persevere and see it through until it grows to what it should be. And I think Jack was very instrumental in that and seeing it through to its completion, for sure.
Wonderful. So we thank Jack Miele with, staying with you and seeing it through the end. And I mean, the results are really a treasure, really fantastic. And this is the kind of record that I will get for myself, that I will hold on to it, and I'll listen to it in 10 years and still enjoy it like the first day. And, true team effort, and really congratulations again. This is fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, the album drops on January 1st. It's kind of an arbitrary date. I don't know why we picked that, but
this is the beginning.
We're excited. We're going to put it on vinyl as well, and those will be out in the spring. And it's currently available for CD and digital pre-order also.
Okay, so afterwards you're gonna give me, if you don't mind, if you can, you're gonna give me a site, and we're gonna include it, and I will probably use it myself.
Great.
Awesome. So, you know, if you were to, like, what is your ideal future for this project, for yourself as a musician? How do you see it? How do you think we're gonna get out of this?
Well, Drab for me has become like a really great creative outlet, not just musically, but now like visually too. We're working on some music videos and that kind of thing. And so we're just having fun with it. And like, that's the most important thing, is just putting positive creative energy into it and, you know, being happy with the result. So we don't have, you know, huge expectations or anything, but I definitely would like to get this project off the ground and start touring, because, you know, we're a live band. You know, I think that's where we really shine. And I would love to tour on this project and really bring the music to as many people as I can in a live setting too. So I think that's the next step for us.
Wonderful. Well, all the best luck with those ideas and that project. Hopefully, you know, we'll see you touring really soon. And I want to be mindful of your time. Really appreciate having you on and speaking your truth and everything about this wonderful music you're making. And so, you know, if you had an advice for your younger self, or really somebody who's trying to be a musician and sees, you know, can see somebody like you, like their goal, like, what do you think that'd be?
Oh boy. I think probably the key to making a living doing this, or doing it as a career anyway, is it really comes down to perseverance more than anything. You're gonna have failures. You're gonna face rejection a lot, and you're gonna have to make tremendous sacrifices in other areas of your life. You know, relationships and that kind of thing. Especially if you're touring a lot, you know, you kind of have to devote yourself to the lifestyle of being a musician. It's one of those fields. It's one of those occupations where if you really want to do it, you've got to devote yourself almost completely to it. So I would say if you really love playing music and you really want to do it for a living, the key is to not give up and to play the long game and work as hard as you can. I think to treat the people that you work with well and respect them and take care of them, and also don't compromise on your vision too much. You know, like if you have a vision for what you're trying to do musically, and you really believe in it and you're passionate about it, hold on to that and don't compromise it, and see it through, see it done the way you want, and yeah, I guess that's about it. The main thing is perseverance. It's a very hard road. There's a lot of highs and lows,
Yes.
a lot of hard knocks, but if you hang in there, really cool things will happen.
Totally right. Totally right. And I think you alluded to something that I think is very, very crucial. Like you were saying, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So treat those people around you well, because for your own sake, because everybody needs respect, and also because you don't know where anyone is at what place at what moment, and maybe, you know, you're gonna have to work together in the future. You want to leave a good impression and treat everybody with respect, and I think that's also really important from what you said.
Yeah, that is crucial to making good music, I think.
Absolutely.
And yeah, for sure.
Well, this was great. Steve Mignano and their band Drab, D-R-A-B, as in boy. look, Sand. This is a fantastic song, and you know we're gonna enjoy a little bit more of it until the next one we speak. Steve, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your time. Really, all the best wishes.
Thank you to you as well. I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna enjoy a little bit more of Sand by Steve Mignano and their band Drab. Let's go ahead.
Of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh. Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.